All right, guys, check this out. So today we're gonna be doing it's a burst fade, but I call it a V-Hawk, just because it's got the V on the back, and it's just, I mean, it's obviously a burst fade too. So what I like to do when I'm starting this fade is I start the guideline like in the middle of his ear, and then work my way around to that pretty much that C cup. At the end of the C cup, I make an arch, a half circle. Um, That's always your guideline. The half of the ear, start your point there, and then work it around to a half circle. Pretty much how I have it right here. Doesn't got to be too perfect, but you know what I mean. This will get the job done. Balled out right under it with your shavers, whatever shavers you got. These are the Babyliss ones. These are pretty filthy. I like those. Always been rocking with those. And then we're gonna come in with our clipper. Any clipper you use doesn't matter as long as it has a lever. This one is right now I'm working with the lever all the way open, and I'm creating my first guideline. All I'm doing right here is giving it about half an inch, and I'm pushing it back on the back of his ear too. Notice how I'm not going too low on the bottom of his ear. It's just right on the half of his ear, and I'm cleaning up the area nice and solid. What I'm going to be doing is working my way with the lever right here, so it's all the way open, and I'm closing it notch by notch until it's all the way closed using the corners of my clipper, making sure I get every little detail. And then once I do that, I come in with my trimmers and just use the corners, and then hit a little bit of detail work, make sure I erase that line from the shaver to the trimmer. These are pretty zero gap, so these hit pretty good. Erase everything that I need to get done. Then I'm going to come in with my one guard all the way closed, and notice where I start. I start like kind of right under where the what is that called again? The vertical bar, yeah. So that peak right there. Right under it, I go in with my one closed, and then I work my way as a half arch right here. And all I'm doing is just cleaning up the entire area right here, making sure everything is nice and symmetrical. Use the little corners right there on that half circle. Once you do that, come in with your half guard, and then have it all the way open and go right under that one close that you just made. Okay, so right here I'm going in with right under that line, and then I'll be working my way with the lever, closing it slowly, notch by notch, till it's all the way closed. So right here it's all the way open, hitting it with that corner too. So around that arch, I know it might be hard to blend that, but just use your corners if you have trouble. Right there I'm using my corners. Here I'll show you full blade right here, and then I'll slowly start peeking out using the a little bit of the corners, and that's really gonna help you kind of blend out that section, so it's not like you're stuck on it not knowing how to curve the clippers, because if you do a full flat blade, that thing's gonna freaking be a 7 or something. I've seen fades done with the 7 too, but it's cool. Right here I come back in with my clipper, and this is the lever all the way open, and I'm only using a corner. Like I've said in my other videos, tilt your clipper sideways. Don't lay it flat too much. You don't want to leave some patches. You don't want to freaking leave some holes in his head that are unnecessary. Looks like he's got a scar. What I do here is I go all the way in. So any little black spot I see all the way up there, I hit it. And then I'll slowly start closing the lever until I feel like I don't need to close it anymore. Because if you have it closed all the way, it's going to leave some spots. So right here is all the way open, and I'm just using the corners, going all the way around. Check that out. Cleaning everything out. So then what I'm going to do is come in with my 1.5, and right at the peak of that vertical bar, I'm going to come in all the way at an angle first, and then work my way up to a half circle. So right there I have a half circle. I have it all the way, I think, open. Oh no, I have it all the way closed right here. I have the lever all the way closed, and I'm slowly working my way to the back and just cleaning everything out that I need to, making another section right here. Don't go too ham on this because you don't want to make it too crazy. So then right here I switch over to the 1. So I have it all the way open, and I'm going around cleaning the area right under that 1.5, and I'm pretty much already, since the clipper's all the way open, I'm hitting where that vertical bar's at, and then I'm slowly gonna start working my way out. So I'll slowly start using the corners. and then I'll be cleaning out that area all the way to the back of his head. Make sure you go into on the back of the head. Don't try and tighten that too tight, because then it's gonna freaking leave like a weird, awkward, fade. So at the end of the haircut, I'll show you why it's good to go back, because it'll transition really good into the length that he's got. So right here, I'm using a 0.5 guard on the FX3s. I know everyone says this sucks, but it kind of gives it, that good transition from the 1 to the half guard. So I really don't use a half guard on this. I use the Babyliss Low Pros, or whatever you use. Just use a Babyliss with the fade blade, and then I just kind of use that half guard on that one. Right here, I come in with my half guard on these FX3s just because I feel like it gets nice and clean around the 0.5 with the Babyliss and the 1 on this FX3. So it gives it that nice little blend. But look how I'm using my corners. A lot of the work here is corners. And then I come back in with my FX3s, no guard, all the way open, and I'm making my arches, just touching up little black spots that I kind of missed. You always got to go back and hit that detail. Come back in with the half guard, and then close it all the way, and then sort of make sure I'm like getting right under that half guard of the Babyliss. So right here, I'm coming in with my 2, have it all the way open, and guys, honestly, like, a lot of this is a rough draft, right? So I like to call this a rough draft. Every time you're using a guard and it's your first time making a guideline with it on a haircut, use it as a rough draft, right? So you're gonna create the section, and then you're gonna clean it out, and then you're gonna do whatever you do, come back in, and then do a little bit of detail work. So it doesn't have to be super perfect. So like right now, I'm using the 2, and I'm working my way with the lever, so it's like open all the way, and then it's gonna slowly start being closed all the way. So check it out. Come back in with my 1, it's all the way open, just to kind of see where I'm at with that lever. And then I think this is a 1.5, sorry. So this is a 1.5, and I'm like slowly fading into that 2, making sure everything is nice and solid, right? So I'm going up a little bit higher. Don't be scared to go high, man. If you go too high and you hit something, you can always blend it out with your thinning shears or something. So like right here, speaking of thinning shears, I'm using the big teeth on my comb, and what I'm going to be doing here is fading that number 1.5 into the 2 and up to the top of the crown of the head. And this is really going to give it that like really cool blurry effect. So right here, I'm going to be fading onto that top part. I never use anything higher than a 2 guard. Anything higher than a 2 guard, I just use my scissors and thinning shears and kind of just blend in like that. Notice right here too on my comb, what I'm doing is I'm going against the grain. So I'm trying to angle the comb so I'm able to catch it against the grain. Oh, there he goes, getting treated like a king. And then come back in with some more detail work, using my FX3s, half guard all the way open. And then, make sure I go up a little bit higher. You can go really high with this. You don't have to be too scared. But either way, I'm going to come back in with scissors, so it doesn't really matter. So right here, thinning shears and comb, still getting a little bit of detail work in, blending it all the way to that top length. And then right here, I don't know why I slowed it down, but it's probably going to be important. So, oh yeah. So right here, I switched the comb to the little teeth, right? So the little teeth right here are going to blend into the fade, which is in between the 1 and the 0.5 guard, right? Anything higher than that, you want to just start using your big teeth. So come back in, do a little bit of detail work. And once you get that all in, you want to blend in with the scissors, right? Use your little teeth on your comb, and then just use your scissors and just tap right there where like the half is to the 0.5. And honestly, bro, this right here, this little detail work I'm doing, notice how slow and steady I'm going. All I'm attacking are the little black spots, right? This right here is gonna really transition your fade like super solid. It's gonna make everything stand out, and you're gonna see this at the end of the haircut when it comes out, how super clean it looks. There's the reason you want to use your scissors and thinning shears and your comb is because your clippers aren't always gonna hit every single little spot. I mean, some people can sit there all day and do it, but I like to do this route because I feel it's a lot more detailed, and you're actually attacking the spots you want gone. So right here, I'm just using my scissors and just blending onto that top two. Thinning shears do one thing and scissors do another. Scissors cut length and thinning shears blend that length to that bottom. Come back in with these trimmers. These aren't that zero gap, so I go a little bit higher than I would with my low pros and then sort of blend out whatever black little spots I see. And then come back again with my lever all the way open and just attack some black spots that I seen. And then I'm going to come in with my trimmers. These aren't that zero gap, and the reason I use these because I don't want to cut nobody. So I'm going to just hit that vertical bar. So notice how I used the vertical bar, and then worked my way to the back of the ear. That's going to give me my guideline to create the V, so it's always perfect and symmetrical on both sides. So use that bottom of that V and then follow it all the way across without going up or down, and then just make a V, make a line, and it's going to create a perfect V every single time. Just go back in, do a little bit of touch up, make sure everything's nice and straight, bald everything out with your shavers, and then after you're done, come back in, do a little bit more detail work towards that top part. Just I've seen a little bit of black spots there, so I wanted to make sure I get everything. Look at that, man, it's looking clean. See that? And come back with scissors, and look how everything's transitioning, right? So right here, we're going to start off with the vertical bar and then start away from the middle to the side. Just give them a nice solid little lineup. Make sure everything's nice and clean. Come in with the razor. Mandatory, use a razor. Don't ever leave your client get out without a razor. Sorry about that brightness. I just noticed that right now. It's kind of a trashy little shot. But anyways, back into this, man. Make sure everything's nice and parallel. So notice how I started on the left side. It's because he has that calyx, so that's his true hairline, is right there on that left side. And I'm gonna slowly work my way across. He has another calyx on the right side, so I didn't want to push up that right side too high, right there where I'm going. I don't want to push that up too high, because once he puts his hat or brushes his hair, it's gonna curl back up. So if I would have cut that, it probably would have gone a little too high. So I come back in the middle, work my way to one side, and then work my way to the other. Make sure everything's nice and straight. See how I brush that? I don't want to freaking give him that high point right there. Come back in with the razor and then line everything up nice and solid. And then this was a horrible freaking angle. I was trying not to get in front of the camera, but there you go. Anyways, here is a haircut. Hope you liked it. Let me know what you want to see, what other videos you want to check out, what I should do. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. That's so dumb. I hate when people do that, dude. Anyways, this is the cut. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.